Welcome to your Kaplan Stress Management Workshop. I'm Lauren Bernstein, and I've been a Kaplan teacher helping hundreds of students score higher on the GRE for over 6 years. In my non-Kaplan life, I'm also a clinical social worker, so I guess you could say it's my specialty to guide people through stressful situations and help them take control of their lives. I know that the GRE is not only about learning math concepts or mastering vocabulary. It's a test of endurance and mental focus, which includes conquering your stress. The GRE is undoubtedly one of the more important tests you'll ever take, and how well you do on it can be important in charting the course of your academic plans and career aspirations. Taking the GRE can be an incredible rite of passage, but like any major event, the GRE can also inspire stress, anxiety, and even fear. Stress is a normal feeling to have from the moment you realize you have to take the GRE to get into graduate school to the second you receive your GRE scores. Our goal at Kaplan is not to eliminate your stress, but rather to manage it, to own it, to help you gain mastery over the GRE. Remember, you can control how you approach the GRE. The GRE most certainly does not control you. As we define stress as any factor that can interfere with your test day success, it's important to start thinking about managing your stress now. Stress is not only a factor on test day, but something that can impact your studying as well. And we want to make sure you have all the tools you need to succeed. Have you ever said or thought any of the following? I'm just a bad test taker, or I'm terrible at math or verbal or writing. I do well in school, but I just get so distracted and stressed out when I take standardized tests. I could ace this test if it wasn't timed and I didn't have to watch the clock. You are not alone. I hear these kinds of statements all the time from my students, but today is the day to eliminate these negative phrases from your studying life. The GRE is about critical thinking and utilizing your problem-solving skills, which can be hard to do while you're feeling stressed out. Don't get me wrong, a little stress or anxiety is normal. It means that the GRE is a big deal, that you care about getting into graduate school, and that you're taking the GRE seriously. That's a great place to start. Being a little stressed out can compel you to study and to make a plan. It can keep you engaged during a long exam. What we want to do is hone the powers of stress for good, to help you get that higher score and to help you feel confident on test day. While you are starting your preparation with Kaplan, keep note of your mental, physical, and emotional condition. Checking in with yourself often will allow you to build the skills you need. You may even have someone in your life who really wants to help you. Asking that person to encourage you, get you healthy snacks, and just generally check in can be invaluable. Get them on your side. Let them know what you need and what you don't, especially that they shouldn't add to your stress by saying things like, "Shouldn't you be studying?" Since you may continue to experience stress in varying ways from now until you finish taking your GRE, this series of stress management videos is designed so that you can come back to it at various points in your studying process. This is the first of 4 chapters. In this first one, I'll be giving you some general tips. The next chapter will help you work stress management into your study plan. Third, we'll focus specifically on managing the stress leading up to test day. Finally, we'll discuss stress during the test itself. To help you get started, here are 6 key points about managing stress. Firstly, congratulate yourself. You've already taken a huge step. You have given yourself a gift by setting aside your time to prepare with Kaplan. We've helped hundreds of thousands of students reach their goals. You'll benefit from our experience throughout your preparation. Also, as a Kaplan-trained student, you now have a structure for your studying, including your online syllabus and Kaplan Smart Reports, our adaptive learning technology that highlights your areas of strength and opportunity. You also have the chance to take multiple trial runs before test day, using the full-length practice tests found in your online syllabus. That's something that most GRE test takers do not have, and knowing that you have these advantages should start you off with confidence. The second step to gaining greater control over your test day stress is to make the GRE real. Set that GRE date. Don't put off scheduling it for another day, even if you're planning on taking it in a few months. If you've already registered for the GRE, awesome. Congratulations. If not, though, do it today. It can be hard to make that commitment, but it's a lot like having a project at school or work. If you have a deadline, you're much more likely to work toward that deadline instead of putting things off. This will help you create a study plan. Make sure you give yourself sufficient time between now and your test day to make the progress you want. We at Kaplan have found that for most students, the right amount of time to commit to focused preparation is about 3 months. Allowing this much time will let you make good progress towards your goals without waiting so long to take the GRE that you start to burn out or lose momentum. Also, keep your application deadlines in mind when scheduling a test day. Once your test day is scheduled, set a goal score, goal graduate program or school program, or even a goal career. Post these goals prominently in your study area, along with your test date. Look at it when you need motivation. This process is never about that challenging text completion question, this math formula, or that vocab word. This is about getting into grad school and starting your career on the right foot. Your investment of time and energy will pay off. Third, remember that the GRE is a marathon, not a sprint. No marathon runner was born being able to run all those miles. Marathon runners train in small, consistent increments over a period of time to reach a huge goal. The GRE can feel like an insurmountable task. By committing to your GRE training with Kaplan, you can win the race. Use every class, every test, every quiz, every workshop, every vocab or math concept review as an opportunity for growth. Don't get caught up on your stumbles along the way. Keep pushing forward. It's not about being an all-star from day one. When you're feeling particularly challenged by your studying or on a practice test, that's a time to take a deep breath. What may feel like hitting a roadblock is really that you're attaining a new level, a higher level that will lead you toward a higher score, if you persevere. Fourth, take it step by step. You are building your skills into muscle memory. It's a day-by-day, problem-by-problem process. If you don't know how to get all the way from point A to E on a question, try just figuring out A to B. If you're not sure of an approach or whether the way you're solving is the fastest, most accurate way, then review the answers and explanations for guidance. Kaplan provides you with thorough explanations for every single question that you will complete. Study the answers and explanations for every one of those questions, whether you got it right or wrong, so that you know how to get on the right track. Tip number 5 is to always work smarter, not harder. I tell my students this during every single class or tutoring session because this is the key to your GRE studying and your work on test day. We at Kaplan are here to make each question and your whole test day experience manageable. Our class sessions and course materials have a balance of content that reflects the test, since the things that are tested most frequently are worth more of your time than those that show up less often. We won't waste your time with any concept you don't need to learn for test day. We will teach you multiple approaches to answering certain questions. We will also show you how to make the best choices about which one is easiest and the least time-consuming for each particular question. Remember that your studying is ultimately about succeeding on test day, getting that high score, getting into that graduate school of your choice, and pursuing your career. It's not about learning every last thing you could possibly learn about this test or studying nonstop until test day. Let Smart Reports guide you to the frequently tested topics that you have yet to master. These are your highest priorities. Sometimes when preparing for a big, potentially stressful event like the GRE, it's human nature to let nerves divert us from the most productive path. We might spend hours focusing on learning every last detail about some concept that's already one of our strengths, instead of using that time to focus on something that's more challenging and less fun, but ultimately more important. Check in with Smart Reports often to keep yourself honest. Make sure you're focusing on the highest yield areas for your score. And last, but certainly not least, it's okay to make mistakes. No, it's important to make mistakes. You want to make your mistakes now so you make fewer of them on test day. Mistakes are a normal part of your studying. Embrace your mistakes and learn from them. As a future graduate student, you're probably used to doing well in school or in your career. You might feel your stress level rise if you get questions wrong on a quiz or see a dip in your practice test scores. Take a step back when this happens and go back to your Kaplan methods and strategies. Review the answers and explanations for the questions. Don't see mistakes as a reason to give up, but an opportunity to learn what you need to improve your score. It's never about the individual question, but about learning the concept. This problem will fade away, but the GRE will test you on a similar concept again. Making mistakes is normal and is necessary. If you work through this now and learn from your mistakes when your scores don't count, you won't make those mistakes on test day. Smart students also take time to think not only about getting every single question right, but about the big picture of the 4 hours you'll spend taking the GRE. So go ahead, get started with your Kaplan GRE prep and make sure to check back in with me after you take your diagnostic exam. I'll help you craft a study plan, the key next step to managing your stress. If you've already taken your diagnostic, join me now for the second video, Study Planning and Using Practice Tests. We'll talk about how you can use these results to help take control of your GRE prep.